Larry Kudlow here for Colonial Metals Group. Ask yourself, is your retirement protected? Gold is the one asset that's surged through every war and economic shock. Please call 800-621-3908. That's 800-621-3908. Or just visit freegoldguide.com/Kudlow to claim your free 2025 gold guide. You'll learn how to protect your IRA or 401k and could qualify for up to $7,500 in free silver. That's freegoldguide.com/Kudlow.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. When you visit the doctor, you probably hand over your insurance, your ID, and contact details. It's just one of the many places that has your personal info. And if any of them accidentally expose it, you could be at risk for identity theft. LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second. If you become a victim, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
And now we are joined by Jim Karol. His website is Jim Karol with a K, jimkarol.com. Jim is a mentalist. I think we're going to just have a little bit of break from the usual. There's so much news, that I just wanted to indulge a little bit into some late night conversation. And, so we've got Jim here. Jim, a mental, is it accurate to call you a mentalist?
Yeah, I guess that's what a lot of people call me, TJ, a mentalist. I do a lot of feats of memory and things like that, and I've been around a long time, a lot of probably 5,000 college gigs in my career, and it all started in Allentown, Pennsylvania, where I used to work in a steel mill, and it was really amazing how this career started. And I was about to lose my job, just like the Billy Joel song, living here in Allentown.
Yeah.
So
the steel mills were shutting down, and
yes, back in the day, and so I lost my job, and my only talent other than the steel mill was I could do a couple card tricks. So I took my wife's Avon account because she was 8 months pregnant, and I went to all her clients, and I would show the women card tricks, and I don't know if they felt sorry for me or they liked my card tricks. I became one of the biggest selling Avon people. It was amazing how it started.
By accident. Okay.
Yeah.
So you could do card tricks and you smelled good and you had a lovely base of powder and okay, all right, good. So go ahead. This is fascinating. So the steel industry around Allentown starts to crumble. You pick up the slack a little bit by calling on your wife's makeup and beauty clients, and at some point you're doing some card tricks, but I still don't see the connection. How do you stumble across the fact at this point in life that you've got a superior mental ability?
Okay, that's really cool, because now I did work in a steel mill. I barely made it out of high school. All right, I used to get bullied as a kid. So I did this show. I put this show together, and I used to go around the country, and they called me Psychic Madman. Okay. I was a madman because I worked at the steel mill, and I put my hand in bear traps and things like that. I bent steel spikes with my bare hand, and then I would do these card tricks. And then they nicknamed me Psychic because in 1990, I had a dream of a daily number in Pennsylvania, 222, and it actually came up. And I would announce it at all my shows. Play 222, December 22nd, you will win. And somehow it came up.
Whoa.
And that got me the nickname Psychic Madman, and I stayed with it in the college market. And then what had happened was, to answer your question, when I was about to turn 50, I developed some kind of heart problem or something. I had like a super enlarged heart, and I had like the heartbeat of a 90-year-old man, so I didn't know what to do. You know, living in Allentown, you're living off these cheesesteaks from Philly and stuff like that.
And you're breathing in all that steel, all that
there you
ore,
go. Yeah.
and This is insane.
I never thought about that. You're probably right. Yeah.
Wow, look at that. I diagnosed you all these years later. So, yeah, all right. So, well, first of all, let me just back up to the lottery thing. How many people, did that cost the state a lot of money? Did people get your message?
Did. Yeah, the average payout in Pennsylvania at the time was about $1.2 million a day. Mm-hmm. And on that day, December 22nd, 1990, over $12 million was won. And I must have announced that at least 32 shows. I would say, play 222, December 22nd. And it was a dream that
and they attribute that to you.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
Really crazy. Got a lot of publicity for it. So getting back to the
mm-hmm.
heart issue, when I found out I had this heart issue, I started going on an exercise bike,
mm-hmm.
and the bike was so boring that I would take my cards and try to memorize long strings of cards, like 12, 15, 20 at a time,
mm-hmm.
just to keep from being bored, not knowing it would turn into what it did. Before you know it, I started memorizing a whole deck of cards on the trip on the bike for an hour. Then I got it down to a half an hour, then 15 minutes, then 10 minutes. It kept getting lower and lower. I'm like, what is going on? So I started memorizing other things. I would make flashcards up and memorize digits of pi, like 3, 1, 4, 5, 9, 2, 6, 5, 2, 5, 8, 9, 7. I would memorize like 100 digits of pi every day on my bike. And it was like energizing me. It was a really cool thing that was happening.
Jim, hold on a second. So tell me this: were you a great? Did you say that you didn't? Did you just say that you flunked out of high school?
I barely made it out of high school. I had like a 1.2 grade point average. It was crazy.
So it wasn't that. So it's not just that you developed a particularly remarkable mind power. You developed it from a not particularly impressive mind power. And I don't mean to be,
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's really amazing. It's a true story. And so I incorporated all of that in my act and started doing like, hey, what's your birth date? April 10th, 1953. Oh, you were born on a Friday. And I would memorize dates and things like that. And the show was becoming different.
So can I ask you one? Can I ask you one? Let me take a shot. April 10th, 1917.
April 10th, 1917. So that would be 1917. That was a Tuesday.
Holy cow. June 27th, 1968.
June 27th, 1960 what?
8.
1968 was a leap year, so that was a Thursday.
Holy Lord! Okay,
no, this is not.
You're right. That's my birthday. That's my birthday, and you're right. And it's a Thursday.
Watch this.
Go ahead.
Give me any 5-digit zip code in the United States.
91604.
91604. I believe it's in Studio City, California.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
This is what I'm telling you. This stuff is cool. And so you see my point. It started really changing my life. So I called it edutainment. All right. But here's the coolest part of all. When I went back to the doctor after about maybe 2 years of doing this, he was like, "Oh my, what's going on? Oh my God!" He scared the heck out of me. I go, "What's going on?" He goes, "I never seen this before. I never seen a reversal of an enlarged heart." I had a reversal of an enlarged heart, and I no longer had the cardiomyopathy. So whatever I was doing with my brain affected my body. So that is what really turned me on to this. And I started going around down to the USO at Walter Reed, and I started going and touring bases and helping wounded warriors with PTSD, helping kids with Asperger's. And so that's where I.
How did you help kids with Asperger's? How did you help wounded warriors? What did you do?
Motivation. I had this memory course that I developed. This course, I call it Cogmental Intelligence. And the reason why I call it cogmental is cog for cognitive fitness, which I did on a bike, and mental was short for mentalism. I was a mentalist.
Was it a combination, by the way, that healing? Because I was going to also jump in when you were saying earlier, you found yourself on your bike, and that's when you started knocking around with some of the memory bits and the numbers of pi and and all that. Was there any possibility? Do people Have people studied you to figure out if there was a connection between the physical exercise to keep you alive, that not only kept you alive, right? It actually reversed your enlarged heart.
It enhanced my life. Yeah, it enhanced it greatly.
And you developed
back to
this
that question,
brain. Yeah, go ahead.
Florida Hospital did a study on me, and now I work with MIT. In fact, I help a professor out there, Robert Ajami, and every once in a while I get on Zoom and I do his computational neuroscience class, computational math. I mean, I shouldn't be doing any of this stuff. I'm hanging out with the top doctors on the planet. This is really crazy what's going on. And now I'm 72 years old. Now, here's the cool thing.
Yeah.
It's getting stronger than ever before. This gets stronger with age. You just got to do it. You got to do the work. It's so cool.
Is it like? And by the way, everybody, we're talking to Jim Karol. He's a mentalist. He's a man with a mind that he sounds like it started to expand in your late 40s or your early 50s. Early 50s. You go to jimkarol.com, Karol with a K, Jim Karol, and his latest book is Mathematical Mind. It's available on Amazon. Jim, before we get into the book, again, they're studying your mind. Has anybody, or your brain, rather, they're studying the organ, I imagine, your brain. What have they told you about? Is there anything physically remarkable about your brain, or the blood capsule? Are your veins larger? Are your capillaries carrying more oxygen? What is it? Have they told you anything about your brain in particular?
That's a good question. Yeah, in fact, at Florida Hospital, when I was down there a few years back, I was in my mid-60s at the time, all right? Now I'm 72, all right? And neurological disorders, three of the main things is your brain mass shrinks,
right?
Your cognitive abilities diminish, and your brain age speeds up.
Right.
When I did the testing down there in a MEG machine and MRI and all this testing, my brain mass grew like 4 times the frontal lobe, parietal, occipital, and temporal, all grew, all 4 lobes, all right? My brain age was that, you're not going to believe this, of a 39-year-old man in my mid-60s. So, yeah, there's something to this.
But do they have, is there a protein thing?
Perfect.
Is it just the exercise? Or, I mean, how come all I'm hearing about is things like Prevagen, and I'm hearing about, I hear about a couple of things all day long on TV and radio. I hear about people losing their cognitive ability. I hear about, we all saw Joe Biden decline right before our eyes, and I'm not making fun. We hear about, supplements like Prevagen and different things, and what is it, ginkgo and other stuff that's supposed to help your mind. But I'm not hearing anything about sit on a bike and memorize zip codes.
Yeah.
So
I wish they would. Look, I think it's a combination of in my opinion, I think it's a combination of a bunch of things. I call it ESPN, all right, and not the sports network.
Right.
E for exercise your brain and body. S for proper sleep. P is the most important of all, positivity. You got to be extremely positive day after day after day. It's a tough time to be positive in the world. And then N for nutrition, which I cheat on. I still eat my chocolate chip cookies and things occasionally.
Right.
And when I say exercise, I'm talking not just physical, mental exercise. Your cognitive, it slows down the brain.
Is it as simple as reading? Okay. So, is it about just? Okay, let me ask you this. When I lift weights, I finally started lifting weights because my daughters were making fun of my scrawny arms. So when I lift weights, I know my goal is ultimately I try to lift more and I try to lift heavier and I try to increase repetition. And if I'm totally wrong, or if it's not this, then please just say, no, TJ, it's not this. But is it a matter of like, okay, you could either read a book, you could read the Bible, you could read War and Peace, you could read Dr. Zhivago, or is it about trying to read, so in other words, is it about trying to read more and more intense literature? Is it about reading Shakespeare, or could you get away with reading the New York Times every day. Is there heavier lifting that one can do, or is my question just doesn't make sense?
That's a very good question. In fact, hey, look, just like exercise. Obviously, you could run a marathon, and you could run, or you could just take a walk around the block.
Right.
They're both going to be good for you. The marathon
right.
would probably be a little better.
Right.
So what I would suggest is like what I do is, well, getting back to the weightlifting, that, in my opinion, once again, these are just my opinions that work for me. Weightlifting is very, very good for you. All right.
Right.
It
and it's good for, so it actually, it's a coincidence that I brought that up, because actually part of your thing is also about being physical. So it's exercise. Okay. So go ahead. I'm sorry. So lifting weights is good.
Your self-esteem too.
Yes.
When you're lifting weights and you look at yourself in the mirror, wow, that's me. Look at this. I'm 72 and I still got some. Yeah, that's really cool. But the important thing about sleep, you got this thing. Okay, it's first of all a good night's sleep. It strengthens your immune system and it energizes your brain and body. Like I'm energized right now because I just worked out before.
Right.
But most importantly, a good night's sleep, it enables this thing called the lymphatic system.
Right.
It like cleans up your brain and removes the toxins, just like your brain's own personal maid service that works when you. This is crazy, and it has a very positive effect on inflammation, stress. So sleep is so important. These people, I say, I can go 4 hours of sleep. Oh yeah, well sooner or later it's going to catch up.
It's going to give up on you. Yeah, everybody go to JimKarol.com and read more, because we're not going to cover nearly as much as you can find over there. Jim Karol with a K.com, and also jump onto Amazon. His latest book, he's written many. His latest book is Mathematical Mind. It's available on Amazon, as I said. So tell me this again. I've heard, I understand the correlation, physical exercise. I understand you went through some trauma with an enlarged heart. Anything could have happened as you got better, but I still don't see a connection between your getting better and this regimen that you stumbled upon with your mind and exercising your brain as you exercise your body. I still don't see the connection between that and knowing 80,000 zip codes. Okay. I mean, in other words, was there anybody else in your family like this? I mean, and again, have the doctors said to you, there is something, is your brain bigger, heavier? And I'm not being funny. Is there something that is just, what have the doctors actually told you definitively that makes you different from other people?
The brain does grow through a lot of cognitive fitness. Even, and once again, I'm not a licensed doctor or physician, but I know for a fact, I study the brain now with my memory, and your brain can grow at any age. I don't care if you're 75, 80 years old. In my opinion, I think you actually get stronger with age, your brain, your mental power, if you work it.
Yeah.
You know, like the old adage, use it or lose it.
That's
what it is. It really is real.
I'm going to throw a zip code at you real quick, right in the middle of everything. 54912.
54912, that's in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of the exact town, but I just know it's out there in the Midwest. See, there are some. I don't know every one
Appleton,
of them.
Wisconsin. So you were right. It was in the Midwest.
Man. Yeah, Wisconsin. Is that Appleton? I won't forget that now.
No, you won't. You see, now you committed to memory.
I never heard Apple. That's the first time in my life I ever heard Appleton.
Fascinating. Yeah. Hey, listen, Jim Karol, I want to say, look, we're going to definitely have to talk again. We've only just scraped the surface. And I'm grateful for your time this morning. It's a fascinating concept, the idea that your brain can grow and that, and you're 72 now and your brain has gone in the opposite direction for the last 22 years since you turned 50. So if everybody gets their sleep, their exercise, and they stay positive and they eat right and you do some reading, you never know. You might be able to actually extend, Yeah.
Play a card game. Even playing cards and laughing. Go see a comedian, a funny comedian, laugh and play cards. That's good for your brain. I play poker.
All right. I'd hate to play poker against you, you son of a gun. All right. So listen, everybody.
Pleasure,
go
TJ.
to, pleasure was mine. Go to jimkarol.com, Karol with a K, and take a look at his latest book, Mathematical Mind, on Amazon. And, all right, buddy, be well, and thanks again for joining.
Likewise. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care, Jim.
Greg Kelly here for Colonial Metals Group, China's leading the largest anti-American alliance since World War II, one that's already dumped U.S. bonds, grabbed 43 million acres of our farmland, and is plotting to dethrone the dollar. That's why IRA and 401k savers are protecting their savings with gold. Go to freegoldguide.com/Kelly or call 800-655-5186 for your free gold guide on how to protect your wealth with gold 100% tax-free.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.